everyone. So I had put a poll on Instagram whether people wanted to kind of see what consists of my catheter drawer. So, and people said that they wanted to see kind of what I have and what I use. So I decided that it needed a bit of a clear out because I've had some more supplies come. So while I tidy it up, I'll as I put it back, I can show you kind of exactly what I have. Just excuse me, I'm feeling really poorly. I've got really bad backache, sciatica pain. My SPC site is infected and keeps bleeding. So I have no makeup on at all. So I do look rough, but that's what you get when you have chronic illnesses. So yeah, literally I will, sorry, my face is a bit close. I will literally just go through everything of what I've got as I put it away. So first thing that I am actually gonna put away is my leg bags. So they just come in a bag like this, so they're sterile. You've seen my leg bags on, but you can see one through here. So it's just like a plastic bag. This long tube connects to the catheter, and that's the valve to empty the bag, basically. I do have a few different brands. So these ones are Teleflex, and they're the ones that I prefer to use because they have on the back of them, I need a new leg bag on actually, so I'll take one out, it'll be fine. They have like a bit on the back that's more comfortable. So yeah, it comes literally just like this, and it's got like a soft material on the back, and then you take that off, and that's where it goes into the catheter, and keep that on so it's sterile. There's like a little port there, so if you've got an infection with catheters, it's something that is likely to happen. But having the sample from the bottom here of this valve, I'll show you how it comes, literally goes down like that and back up. Obviously this bit goes in your trousers. It can get contaminated so easily. So that little blue port is where they take a sample from to just make sure that they're getting the correct sample. With a catheter infection as well, you can have your sample sent away, which happens most of the time, and if you send one in that's contaminated, it's just going to come back inconclusive. There is actually a petition going on, because the way that the UK does their UTI system is ridiculous. You can have more than one bacteria in your bladder that needs antibiotics. When you have a UTI, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've just got the one bacteria and that's the one that needs treating. So you have the sample sent away, but if the sample comes back that there's more than one bacteria in a generic UTI system, they just mention back to the doctors that there was multiple cultures and it was inconclusive, and then the doctors then tell you that there was no infection and that you didn't need the antibiotics, which is ridiculous because you can have more than one bacteria in your bladder and it doesn't mean that you haven't got an infection. So like I said, there is a petition just because it's so old school. I think it's about 80 years old and they haven't changed it, they haven't updated it. even though there's research to show that you can have more than like one culture, one more like bacteria, but they've still left it the same. So yeah, that's something that the people with obviously bladder conditions are trying to get sorted, because some doctors won't give them antibiotics, and then obviously they did actually need them, and then they get poorly. So this is my other bag that I have, and I don't really like these ones. These are for a cola flask, simpler. They're just plastic on the back, and it's just sticks to your leg, and it's really horrible. But they're good because if I have a bath, the other ones obviously got material, so then it gets wet and it's a bit of a nightmare. But with those ones, obviously if they get wet, they just dry off instantly. So then obviously I've got my night bag, which I have as well. Oh, with the leg bags, I change them every 5 to 7 days. Have a new one on every 5 to 7 days to make sure that they, you know, everything's kept clean. And that's the same with these night bags. I can't really, they're all packed away and I don't need one, but that's kind of what they're like. They're exactly the same as a day bag, really. It's just that they're obviously bigger. So there's not really much difference to them at all. So yeah, those are the weekly night bags, but I also have 24-hour ones as well, but I can get one of these ones out to show you. So these ones is a single-use bag, so it goes up to 2,000 mils, and once you use this, so say I use it through the night, I get up in the morning, you pull this white bit off and you push the green bit through, which allows the urine to come out, and you can't push it back. And it's literally the same as the other, where it sticks into the catheter. But night bags, I just stick into my day bag and have it as like an extra long bit. But I prefer the weekly bags just because of the convenience, and they're so much easier to empty. Sometimes you can catch these and your hand gets covered in wee, which is obviously really annoying. But with the single-use bags, there's less chance of infection getting in. So, because obviously you're just getting rid of it. So it depends on the person. It depends who's actually prescribing them. Because I always have had the weak ones, and then I spoke to Bladder Health UK's nurse, and she was like, you're better off having the single-use ones. So then she gave me the single-use. But yeah, but then again, the single-use ones are really good if you're going away, because you can just take one rather than having to then bring one of the other ones back. Obviously you can throw away the weekly ones like after one use, but I wouldn't really want to. People can have a catheter and not have to need a bag, and so they have what's called a flip flow, which is this. So this bit connects to the this bit connects to the catheter, and then you pull that down to let the wee out. I'm trying to use them because obviously then it could mean that I wouldn't need a bag and it would make things so much better. But because I've got interstitial cystitis, my bladder doesn't really like urine in it. So when I didn't have a catheter, as my bladder would feel, I would be in so much pain, and then I'd have to go for a wee. So if I've then got a flip flow, obviously your bladder fills up as usual. You just, instead of going and being able to empty your bladder yourself, you would just go and you just use the flip flow and it comes out exactly the same. But my bladder doesn't necessarily want to play games, so it will cause spasms, and then the urine will get forced around the flip flow and around the catheter, and then obviously a leak can get covered in urine. But I did manage one for 2 days the other day. But these ones are so annoying. They just come off of the catheter really easily, and then you've just got wee just constantly leaking out. So they're, I want to be able to use them, but at the same time it's easier to not have to use them. This is a sample that I got sent the other day, and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm so looking forward to it. So obviously I can now wear, now that I've got an SPC and not an indwelling urethral catheter, I can wear dresses because I can wear tights and stuff like that. But obviously I still have the leg bag, but I got sent this belly bag, which is amazing. So it literally clips around your tummy, and then you've got this bit which connects to the catheter, and that bit which you'd pull from underneath to empty. But this is just brilliant because I could have it around my belly, and yeah, I could just wear tights and be really comfortable. So I haven't used it yet because I've not been feeling well to obviously try it, because yeah, I've been in stuff like this, to be honest. What else have I got? Oh yeah. So I've got, that's all kind of the bits that go onto the catheter. I have, if I can get them out, Instilla gel. It's, so in there is the Instilla gel, and it's in a syringe, but it's not like got a needle or anything, it's just a open end syringe, and they have got local anaesthetic and disinfectant in them. So when people have catheters put in, they use Instilla gel first, leave it for a minute, and then put the catheter in, because it's lidocaine, so it numbs. But it's also really good for when you've got pain in your urethra, to be able to then use it. I also use it actually on my SPC site, so when that's really sore, I'll put some Instilla gel on there, which is really, really good as well. But it is really good, and it just kind of numbs the area and makes it feel so much better. This is, so when you have a catheter, well, any normal person really as well, will have like little floaty bits that come off of your bladder, and it's called sediment, which basically is the lining of your bladder. And when you have an infection, that you, for some reason, you get more, I don't know the kind of technical ways of it, but you get more of this sediment, and I at times can get blood clots as well. So my bladder can start to get blocked up in the actual catheter, so obviously then it doesn't drain as well, you get pain. So that's basically what these are for. So you twist the top off, and it's like a small end of a syringe. You pop it onto the catheter and you squeeze this like till this goes flat, and it pushes this Optiflow liquid into your bladder. You need to hold it for, well, I was told to hold it for around 5 minutes and then let it out. But on here says to really slowly push it up and then really slowly let go. So I'm not sure which way is the correct way, but basically that unblocks your catheter. It's got something in it that breaks apart the blockage, basically. I suppose, like when you have a drain and it's blocked and you put the stuff down it makes it all come apart, to allow the liquid to go through, and I'm guessing it's a pretty similar thing. Then I have the actual catheters themselves. So this one is actually, because I always have a spare. This one is for when I did actually have a urethral catheter. So this was a long-term one, which I don't actually need, but I've got it there anyway. And these are the ones that I now use, a silicone catheter. But I have this in my drawer, so I'm actually going to just show you this. This is the catheter, and it's never going to be able to be used because it's actually out of the box and it's not sterile. I just ended up needing to use the bits that came with the catheter at some point. But I thought that while I've got this, I could show you, because some of you might, like, obviously I've shown you what the catheter going through looks like, but you don't necessarily know what it looks like when, like, the whole way. So literally this is, I don't know, the end of the catheter. So you've got your tip and the little holes over the side, which allows the urine to go through, and it literally is just like that. And this is the bit that you connect your leg bag to. So if you've got a urethral one, this would obviously just go up your urethra and all the way up, and you'd have that hanging down the bottom, or with an SPC obviously straight through. And yeah, so that is basically what a catheter looks like. It probably looks quite scary, to be fair, doesn't it? But it's really not. Even though a catheter change is not the nicest of things. But yeah, so I've got that. And then I just have these, which are dry wipes. So when you change a leg bag, obviously you've got urine flowing through where they connect, so you just need to quickly do it, and the dry wipes are absolutely brilliant for that type of thing. And then I have general wet wipes for the same thing, to be able to clean myself down. They're especially good if you're on the move, kind of as in if you're out and about. Disposal bags. So I've got these ones, which are a general, like, kind of nappy sack as such. And then I also have these ones, which actually do up by a sticky bit. These are new to what I've had, and they're so much better because they literally just seal up and everything stays in, whereas these you have to knot. These ones you have to knot, and they're not as good. But these ones do smell nice, which is good. I'm just thinking what else is to go in. I have barrier wipes, which are actually in here. Which you can put, I wipe it around the outside of the catheter. They're not for internal, they're just an external wipe. And the external wipe, you wipe around the outside, and it kind of can protect the catheter. So if you was to then put a bandage over the top, it stops things from getting in. It's not 100%, but it does help. So that's what they're for. This is sterile solution, which is just general, like, really sterile water. So when I used to have my urethral changes, you would just wipe that area with this solution to make sure that obviously it's clean. Then I have just general panty liners, just because you just don't know when you're going to need them. When I had the urethral, that's when I had them more for, because if I was to bypass, a little bit of urine would come out. So that would obviously be the easiest. And then I've got, these are just loads of leg straps for the leg bags. I've just got so many in there. So that's basically those. I've got just loads of different, like, bandages just to put around, like, where the catheter is. So there's just those. And then this is called a catheter retaining strap, and it's basically called a G strap, and it straps around the leg and then it holds the catheter in place. So yeah, so that goes round the leg. You put it together like that. That goes round the leg, and then you've got this bit which goes onto there, and the catheter can go through and kind of attaches to it, just so it doesn't keep tugging and pulling all the time. So yeah, I've got those, which can be handy depending on what you're wearing. I have these Clinithix securing device, which I absolutely love these. So they stick to your leg, and they're like a really strong plaster. So you stick that to your leg, and then that bit is pretty similar to the G strap where it holds the catheter in. It's just that these are a lot more comfortable, but they really do stick. So when you've got these and you need to take one off or to change it, this is what you have. This adhesive, yeah, it is called, yeah, remover. So you spray that on as you pull it away, and honestly, it is absolutely amazing. It just, like, I wouldn't be able to pull the one I've got on now off. Like, even if I sit in the bath, obviously it makes it come away slightly around the edges. But even if I soak, it is stuck to my leg. And if I was to pull it, it hurts. And this just gets it off in seconds. It is just crazy how good it is. There's not much left now, to be honest. I've got these, which I'll show you, which hold the catheter. So your leg, you put it on your leg, and then there's like a little hole there. So they're another thing that can secure a leg bag. I've just got different sizes in there because this was a sample that I was sent from my catheter company. So I've got those as well. I think that's pretty much it, to be fair. I've got that tarin, which is for thrush, because whenever I have antibiotics, it gives me thrush every single time, without fail. Even though I take probiotics, it doesn't always help work. So that's why I've got Caniston as well. This was just something, before I knew that I could get all of those different secured leg bits, I just bought myself to make a homemade one. Medical tape. I use that. Sometimes I run out of bandages, so I will just get a dry wipe, fold it into a smaller piece, and then stick it on with that, so it's more secure. I have a travel certificate, so that when I've got all of my bits, that I can fill it in. Obviously we can't go anywhere at the minute, so I've not ever had to use this so far, but it's in all different languages, and it just explains what I've got with me, and why, which is brilliant, because obviously the last thing you want is to be stopped, especially if you've got the self caths, which I've actually got them here. I can show you. So these, when you self catheterize, these are what you can use. There's different types, but these are the ones that I used to use. So you twist it and it comes off like this, and you've got the bag. So that's where the urine would go in, and you twist this bit literally off, oh wrong way, and you pull it up like that. And so that is the cap that goes up the urethra, and it's got loads of jelly on it, lubricant jelly, so it's like easier to go in. And you put that up, and then we just literally, where that lubricant jelly is coming through, that's where the wee would go. And then when you're finished, you put it back in there, you do it back up. There's a little part that you rip off here at the bottom, you empty it, and you fold it back round, and you can then, once it's done properly, put that back on and just put in the bin. So if you've got loads of them, not everyone's going to know what they are. Like, I'm sure if you saw one of them, you would really wonder what the hell it is, and people wouldn't know that in there, like this bit that you put up the urethra, it's not got a needle or anything, it's just a catheter. But if you was to get stopped, at least with that, it's just so much easier, because you know that you're safe. And then I just have a little carry bag, which I just put a few bits in. It's got a mirror, which the mirror was when I was self-catheterising, some bags, some instiller gel, catheter, and just did a few bits in there, just so that if I was to go anywhere, I can just pick it up and go, which is perfect. So, but yeah, that is literally the whole thing done, and that's everything that I use. I can't think of anything else. So if you have any questions, just comment below. Make sure you come and follow my Instagram page, which is the same as my YouTube tag, which is my catheter and me. Make sure you follow me on there, because I update so much more on there and have so much more content, and I will answer any questions that anyone kind of wants. Just inbox me. So yeah, that's obviously the end, because I haven't got anything else to show you, but I hope it's been informative and it's kind of helped you realise kind of what we have and how much supplies we actually have to store. So yeah, happy Friday.